I looked at this impact and I gotta tell you, I felt like the writers really took a vacation. Now don't get me wrong, things were done here, but there was so little done. That's the problem. I felt like the writers were told, you know what, you worked your butt off, write something short and then take a vacation for a couple of weeks. Because you need some time off. Because when you look at the show, there was almost nothing there. Hell, they had to put the King of the Mountain match as a filler thing. What? Are you serious? TNA, you have almost no time. You have 2 hours. But instead of putting more time towards your talent, you throw a King of the Mountain match out there. Now a lot of people are going to say, well, this had to go with Jeff Jarrett. And yeah, it makes some sense to talk about Jeff Jarrett, but not show the damn King of the Mountain match. Show it on freaking YouTube. If you're going to put it on television, why don't you just throw it on YouTube? You can tell the people, look, we're throwing the King of the Mountain match free on YouTube. And then you can devote more time to the other people you need. Doing this felt like they had nothing to do. Nothing to think of. In other words, the writers have wrote what they needed to and they went off. But let's get to this, and I'm trying to make this as short as possible because I'm not feeling very well. Dixie Carter with the Jeff Jarrett. Well, he's not there, but they did the promo for it. It was nice. Am I happy to hear it's Jeff Jarrett? I'm probably going to do a video separately about that one day. Not now. But it was eventually going to happen. We know this was going to happen, that Jeff was going to be put in their Hall of Fame. He founded the damn thing. He was going to be put in there. I don't know how to feel about it right now because I am sick. But let's be honest here. It had to happen. Now, one of the two highlights of the entire show, Eli Drake and Drew Mack. Well, I was about to say Drew Mack. Drew Galloway. I don't know why I said Drew Mack. He's the Mac Daddy of TNA. Let's put it like that. I keep getting McIntyre and Galloway mixed up. I'm sorry. But Eli Drake's segment was so polished. I said this and I still stand by what I said. Eli Drake is a very polished wrestler. He's a very good character. He knows how to get himself over. Drew Galloway, you could say he seems a little choppy due to the fact of his thick Scottish accent. Some people will say that. They say, well, you know, he just sounds like he's a little choppy because of his Scottish accent. And I can understand why they're saying that. But you gotta understand, not everyone speaks English like Americans. Okay? I'm not against all of you, but that's the way it goes. You got some people who don't speak the same type of English as us. So of course it's gonna sound a little choppy. But it does not mean it wasn't good. Drew sounded good. Oh, Eli Drake sounded great. Now, I'm not against Eli Drake, even if he has a couple of years more or less than Drew. But they set this up very well, and I want to see the feud between them. Here's another thing that was done pretty well. The Dollhouse versus Brooke and Gail Kim. Now, I really didn't care much about Gail Kim. Gail Kim wearing that little long leather thing on her arm, like she's Lady Hawk or something. You know, when people have a hawk or some type of bird like an eagle, they have to wear something on their hand and then it gets sliced up. Look, she can kind of look like a gladiator, but it doesn't really mean I care. Her not talking is actually better than her talking. At least then something somewhat is getting done. But I really felt like this was not the time to do this. And the way they did it, really. It could have been a little while later. For me personally, because I wanted to see Brooke get the spotlight. More than Gail getting the spotlight. I thought she might be going to the Hall of Fame. I was wrong. Fine. I'm happy about that. But let's be honest here, ladies and gentlemen. Who would you rather see more of? You want to see Brooke Tessmacher? Or do you want to see more Gail Kim? We really wanted to see Gail Kim later. And we wanted to see Brooke Tessmacher or Brooke now. And we didn't get that. We get a mix of them both. And it diminished both of them. Truly, the segment for a Brooke was very good. And having Gail's segment, her coming in and kicking the dollhouse, really didn't help. Terrence and Brooke really need to have time by themselves. But we're going to have Gail mixed in. It just feels a clusterfuck. I'm sorry. The Tigre Uno segment. I have to get this done. Look, I got to get this done because something needs to be stated. Whether you are Democrat, Republican, Independent, you need to hear the truth. What they did here is to get on the bandwagon of what was going on in the build up to it's like the primaries for the Republican Party. That's what they're trying to do. Is Trump going to go there? I don't know. He might not. If he's really being serious about what he's doing, he will not go there. Maybe he'll do a tweet. I don't know. If he actually participates in that, I think it's going to be kind of stupid. But that's not my problem here. This is the situation. Did Tigre Uno do a decent job? For a wrestler, yes he did. He's a simple wrestler who comes from Mexico. Do you believe what he said is true? Of course it is. Do you believe that Donald Trump is telling the truth? Yes he is. And here's the problem. When wrestling tries to mirror or get on the bandwagon of reality, it counts at the right timing and what it is. The problem here is that, yes, Tigre Uno saying something like this will drum up some interest for wrestling. And it will do something good for his country. But here's the problem. TNA doesn't have the fucking strength to really make something of it. If this was a WWE and Tigre Uno was there, even if it's not that interesting in WWE, it would be spotlighted more. The media would care about it more. Here, it's not even an afterthought. And I'm not going against TNA trying this and Tigre Uno saying what he felt. Well, I'm going to get paid for it and it is going to help my country. But let's be honest here. TNA just doesn't have the strength to really do anything here. Really doesn't. And I'm not against either one of them, but this is how I feel. The Bram and Magnus match made no freaking sense. One, they settled things a while ago. I don't know why they did this. Two, they have the match which seemed to be choppy and kind of subdued. Three, Bram wins clean instead of Storm coming out to fuck with a Magnus which really needed to be done. It was ridiculous. It didn't help the segment for I'm doing the Storm segment last. Let's get to the last things I want to talk about. The chain match between Spud and Eli. Very random. Why? If there was some type of feud between them or some type of problem, it would have made more sense. This made no sense. It was quick and it made no sense. It may have given the crowd something interesting, but it really didn't benefit. The Matt Hardy and Robert Roode match was average. And I'm not against Matt. You know how I feel about Matt. At this moment in time, he's one of the few guys we have that's legitimately a champion multiple times and could become champ, transitional wise. Robert Roode definitely is a very good champ. But the problem is, he's a heel right now. If he was a face, and if he was given the chance to really promote himself, this would be alright. But he's not a face. And Matt Hardy's one of the few guys we have that's a legitimate champion, along with Robert Roode, along with Eli, along with Lashley, Austin Aries, and anybody else you want to talk about. So them picking a Matt Hardy to go up against an EC3 was one of the only options they have. He's gone through everybody else. He hasn't gone through Matt. And that's what we're stuck with. Is it going to be an interesting feud or a match? I don't know. Final. The Storm segment with Serena, the girl from the Straight Edge Society. That's when I saw her around 2010, 2011. When I saw her, I thought, one, I didn't think they would bring a woman in. Two, she's actually pretty damn good looking, but she looked awkward with her hair cut all off. Three, she's one of the heaviest chested women I've ever seen in wrestling in a long time. And I'm not trying to act sexist here, ladies and gentlemen. Serena is a heavy-chested woman. And she's built well with it. From what I understand, that's her real breast. And she's built well with it. And I have seen her a couple of times on a couple of other places like Simmer. I've seen her in Shine at least once, and some promotional information I've seen at least a couple of years ago. So she is an actual wrestler that can actually move in a ring. I don't know if she's actually been friends with Mickie Jane. I don't know, but it really doesn't matter. We know this was only a one-off before she retired in real life because she's not wrestling anymore. Is this going to be good? I don't know. The problem I see is that if they just go straight into the match with just her promo, it's not enough. And as much as she's a damn good-looking woman, she's damn good-looking. I really believe she's better looking with long hair than short hair. She just doesn't feel like she's correct with herself. She can have short hair, but just not a baldy. If she had hair that came about here, she would look gorgeous. If she has long hair like she had on this impact, she would look gorgeous. But baldy, she just doesn't look correct. Even though she'll still look good. But that's not enough for this feud. She needed to have more than a week. If they do this, they do it the week after next. This coming week, if they have to match, it's done. If they stretch it out by 1 week, it'll actually give us something. But this is just how I feel about it. What about you? So I hope you enjoyed the Zane feud. Please give me a comment below. I'm sorry that this is very late. I normally do this after a couple of days, but I'm going to be honest. I've had a lot of stress in the last couple of weeks, and I've been depressed. And it's hard sometimes when I have these types of feelings where I just don't want to do anything, that I don't always do these videos. And I love doing these videos. I love it when someone makes a comment. I get pissed off if I accidentally delete a comment trying to comment on it when my computer was acting stupid. To me, this means a lot to me. I love doing my video reviews. And I'm currently 3 years into doing video reviews. I don't try to talk about this much, but my 3-year anniversary came up a couple of days ago. And I didn't make a video on it. But I want to thank everybody for watching me. Because as I said for years, if anyone's watched me for years, I came on here for depression. And even though not many people have actually said, dude, don't stop doing your videos, keep working at it, you'll get better, you're doing great, and don't let your depression get you, just the comments to the videos of what I've been doing, it really does help. I'm not asking you to say, hey, don't let depression stop you. But I thank you all for what you've done. And you guys have a good day and have a good night. And if you do have depression, don't let it get you. It's not an easy thing to fight against. But I can tell you from my perspective, it's not easy when you just don't want to do anything. But it's important to always remember, if you quit, you don't gain anything. If you at least lift your hand once to turn the camera on, if you're doing like me, you're doing a ton of work. And you can be proud of yourself. Have a good day and have a good night. Peace!